Up next on Virginia Outdoor Life, the bass are biting on Lake Kerr. Learn the secrets for catching the big ones. And we'll take you on an adventure mountain biking through York River State Park. Hold on tight because Virginia Outdoor Life is next.
Hello folks, and welcome once again to Virginia Outdoor Life. My name is Jim Hale, and this is my buddy, as you probably know by now, Captain Eric Burnley.
Yes,
How you doing,
I am.
Captain?
I'm doing good. Good warm weather, fish biting. I couldn't be better.
Yeah, it seemed like it would never get here, the warm weather, didn't it?
Long, long winter. I'm telling you, right into spring it was still winter. Yeah, it's been real good.
We are going to have a whole lot of fun on this show, folks, because the captain went out with Kurt Lytle, one of our viewers that is an avid bass angler. And you guys got into some action.
We had a good time. Kurt's practicing real hard, working real hard. He eventually would like to go pro and do this full time, and that takes a lot of commitment. And he's working real hard at it. And it's been real good for us. He took us south of the border down to Kerr Lake for a day of bass fishing. That was a lot of fun. This morning we are on Bugs Island Lake, and we're with Kurt Lytle, and he's going to try to show us how to catch a bass while we're here. We're going to rig a Texas rig crawfish on the spinning rod, and we're going to put a spinner bait on the bait caster. So Kurt, why don't you show us how that's done?
First we're going to rig up the crawfish. This is going to be weedless style because Bugs Island Lake is now about 2.5 feet high, and it's a little murky. The fish are definitely all shallow. I mean, just about all of them are going to be shallow. They're thinking about getting on beds, and they're in the shallow water looking for their bedding areas. So we're going to choose a black crawfish because black tends to work better on springtime bass, and black and blue is just always a good solid color. The screw lock sinker is replacing what we used to do, and that is put a toothpick in the back of the sinker.
Right.
We used to shove a toothpick up and keep the sinker, instead of it swinging freely like this, I'm gonna snug it up against the crawfish.
And when you put the hook, you don't pull it all the way through the crawfish, right? You leave the hook.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it all the way through like so.
Oh, okay.
Just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna back it up and skin hook the front of it.
Ah, okay.
Like
That's
so.
New. That's new.
When the fish chomps down on it, he's going to break it free.
Break it free. Good, good.
Now, regarding the sinker, what you do is it's got a screw on it.
Right.
And so what you do is you push it down and you twist it, and that locks it on.
Screws it right into the bait.
And the spinner baits we're going to be using are, I've heard called the safety pin style. This is really the only spinner bait you should be using for bass. And because of the wire that goes over the top of the hook, it's hard to snag things.
I'm sure I'll find a way.
You can still do it. You can still do it, and I'll do it.
Trust me, I'll find a way to snag it if it can be done.
These are your two basic baits in the bushes. Now, when we start getting into more open water, the rattle trap's
excellent lure.
Imitates the schooling shad.
Right.
And this time of year, the bass are either chasing the shad, getting ready to bed, or they're going into the shallow water. There he goes.
Good fish. Good fish.
He's got a beautiful green color to him. And this is not a fish getting ready to spawn. This fish does not have the belly that you'd expect a spawning fish to have. Those are all common water snakes.
Yeah, that's what they are.
There's 4 snakes right there. If I'm not mistaken, he's got his mouth open.
I had one.
Never mind what I just said, you got a little one.
I know, I see it. About the size of the one you caught on the rattle trap.
That's right.
Now, tell me something, fish. What exactly did you think you were going to do? With a plug half as big as you are. Get back in there. Go grow up.
There's one. All right.
Good deal.
Got him through the hard part.
Good.
There we go.
Say, what are we, 35, 40 feet from the boat ramp?
Yeah. And this is another about 1.5 pounds or so.
There he is.
What you got? How big is he?
Nice one.
Okay, you got him clean.
I got him.
Now you were hung up, and that fish came and picked it off the tree for you.
That's my secret weapon.
That fish has got a heavier gut. My favorite thing about bass fishing is that they're semi-predictable. They're you just don't really know what they're gonna do all the time, but you can predict them half the time, let's say. And there's so many ways you can catch them. You can catch them on buzz baits, spinner baits, all your topwater plugs, your diving plugs, your worms, jigs. I just love to catch fish. And bass give me that chance to do it almost every day of the year. There we go. This is a little bit smaller.
Captain,
yes.
what do you think it is that bass fishing has just exploded in the last 20 years?
Bass Angler Society has really, made it popular. And the fact that you can catch a bass in all 48 contiguous states, and I understand, I think they have some now in Hawaii. So it's a fish that's available to everybody. And a lot of people got a lot of publicity through, like I said, through the Bass Masters and all through that. Yeah. So it's made it really a really popular fish. It's the most popular fish of all fish in the United States to catch as a bass, probably worldwide.
One thing we need to clear up here, you might have heard us call it Lake Kerr and Bugs Island Lake. What's the deal there?
It's the same place. I'm not familiar with the history as how it came to have so many names, but it's Lake Kerr, Kerr Lake, Bugs Island Lake, it's all the same place. And you can fish with a Virginia or North Carolina license.
Right. Same deal as Lake Gaston.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. That's pretty good. And we're talking, from Hampton Roads, you can get there in what? Couple hours.
Couple hours, yeah. And did want to say too that the hot bait that particular day was a watermelon lizard. Now, you've probably never seen too many lizards in watermelons, but nevertheless, that was the hot setup the day we were out.
Okay, all right, Captain, enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
and thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it, buddy. Don't go away, because when we come back, we're really going to pick up the pace. We're going to take you for a bike ride through York River State Park. Stay tuned. Hey, Snake Man, how you doing?
That was neat.
How many snakes were in that tree?
I think there was 6 altogether, yeah.
My gosh.
Yes, and it was right down there on the water, and they were not poisonous. They're the non-poisonous common water snake. But
snake is a snake, though.
Well, no, I don't know,
I don't like those snakes.
Really?
Yeah. We're going to shift gears now. If you haven't heard, folks, we're giving away a pair of mountain bikes from Connie's Bike and Fitness. Unfortunately, only one lucky viewer will win. That means anyone else looking to get into the sport, well, it's going to need a few tips. So we went up to Connie's in Newport News and out to York River State Park to find out what you need to know to get started.
Entry level these days on mountain bikes is anywhere from about $195 up to about $275, $300. That's considered an entry level bike. And you can still do a lot with that. I mean, you can take it on trails. You can just ride around the neighborhood if you want to. So, there's a lot of different possibilities there. You want to look for a good solid component line, good frames. When you're looking at the bike, you want to see nice clean welds. It's basically taking a beach cruiser, putting knobby tires on it, affixing 18 or 21 speeds on the bike, and making it able to go into more different situations than a beach cruiser could do. The next step you'd be looking at probably be something along the lines of suspensions. A rigid fork makes the rider have to become the suspension, basically. If you're coming up to an obstacle, you have to pop the wheel over, you have to maneuver the bike a little bit more. A shock allows you to hit things, basically, and absorb the shock, so when you get off the trail, your arms aren't as tired, you don't feel quite as beat up, And it just allows more control. There's 2 different types of bikes. There's a full suspension bike, and then there's a front suspension. Full suspensions are generally used, I say generally, not always, but generally used for like downhill type riding, a lot of aggressive downhill fast type riding because of the type of terrain you encounter. However, some companies as Cannondale and Specialized have kind of changed that philosophy and built a bike that works as well on cross-country type riding, which is your standard riding like we have around here, just through the woods and that, and also adapts well to downhill. You can get into a suspension bike with just front-end suspension for as little as $500, and it goes up to as much as you want to spend, really, basically, as far as you want to go, as far as componentry. It gets very, complicated, and there's something we can kind of ascertain from your riding style as to what type you would need. There's coil-over shocks, and then there is a oil-air shock, which is like the one that's on the Super V 2000 down here. It's basically a sealed mechanism, and it has oil and an air chamber inside. You actually have to pump this up with air, so it's kind of a different concept also on that. It's something that's not required by law yet to everybody. I think the helmet's the best way to go. They don't weigh as much as a baseball cap these days, but they are protective. They're made out of a special EPS foam, or Jessit foam, which is a highly compressed, it's a very dense type foam. It's not like styrofoam. You can't break this by compressing it with your hands. And most of these companies have got real liberal crash replacement programs, so I mean, if it gets damaged, they'll take care of you, assuming you survive.
You okay?
Oh, man.
You right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Break anything?
Ah, no.
Now, we didn't stage that.
No, we didn't.
But that, nonetheless, is a great advertisement for, obviously, why you need to wear a helmet. People think it's not cool or whatever, but I can tell you from experience that once you leave your bike, the first thing that hits is your head. And even if it's as hard as mine, it can still be dented severely.
Yes, yes. My son rode mountain bikes for several years up in Radford, and he had a couple of arguments with trees. And
yeah. And the bark doesn't taste that great either.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, put a hat on, folks.
Please.
Every time. Hey, we want to thank Charlie Peterson, Eric Vance, and Pellin Felder from the Hampton Roads Mountain Bike Club for taking our crew on a tour of the York River State Park. Now, that's a pretty advanced ride, not something to try if you're a beginner. If that's the case, talk to the folks at Connie's. They can recommend some good places to ride for bikers of all levels, and the Hampton Roads Mountain Bike Club rides every Sunday morning, and at various other times. They've got rides for all different levels of bikers. If you'd like more info about the club, call 247-5486 or 596-0686. Stay tuned, because we're going to open up the outdoor scrapbook and take a look at some fantastic photos sent in by you viewers. And we're going to tell you also about how you can win a couple of Barracuda mountain bikes. But before that, let's see a couple of items coming up. Hey, there's Bucky, and here are those Barracuda mountain bikes we were telling you about. Conti's delivered these to us. We're going to give them away, and when we come back after this next break, we're going to tell you how you can win them. Pretty good deal. I'll tell you.
I think so. $1,200 worth of bicycles.
And these are some sweet bikes. You got your shift right here. What's it called? A gear shift?
Grip shifter.
Grip shifter. That's right.
I just learned that 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, don't be breaking the darn thing there, Captain.
I'm having fun, man.
Careful. But anyway, come and get the bikes, guys. And right now, it's time to open up the outdoor scrapbook and look at what you have sent us. And we're going to start off with Adam Fleshman and Dan Hughes of Norfolk, showing off some rockfish they caught at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel on March 31st. They caught, they say, 40 of them, ranging from 6 to 20 pounds.
And they released them all because the season didn't open until Wednesday.
And you can tell that they did have some fun.
Oh, that's a lot of fun, catch and release on the rockfish. Okay, here we have Shep Smith and Calvin Sawyer. They're from Moyock, North Carolina, and this is just part of their catch of Spanish mackerel that they took while vacationing in Marathon, Florida last February. Nice sized fish.
About a good eating fish.
That's
right
a good
there
eating
too.
fish. You better believe it.
Yes, indeed. And here, once again, is our pal, Danny Davis, with a gar. Now, is that an alligator gar?
No, I think that's just a
that's
common
what
gar.
we used to have back in Texas.
Yeah,
alligator gars.
I think the alligator gar is a little different animal, but they're very similar, of course.
Well, Danny, of course, as we know, is quite a serious angler.
I don't think there's anything left of him to catch.
Yeah, if anything swims, Danny will put a hook
He's got
in
it.
Right. Okay. And check this out. Woo!
John Maddox of White Marsh, 18-pound, 14-ounce turkey, harvested April 18th, and he hunts with the East Dragon Hunting Club out of Middlesex County, and says he loves our show, and we love to hear that.
Oh boy, we got till May 18th to bag that gobbler this year, and I'll tell you what, I have respect for anybody that can do that, because they are not an easy bird
they
to
are
bag.
not.
All right, this is Ray Powell of Carsville with a 44-pound wahoo that he caught. Once again, we got a lot of
people went to Marathon this year.
No kidding.
I went to Alamorada, but everybody else went to Marathon, I guess.
Nice going there, Ray.
All right, here's a beautiful mount taken by Dave Roberts from Hampton, and he killed this in November of '94 in the Charles City County, with the Fellowship Hunt Club. Beautiful mount.
Boy, that is a nice one right
nice.
there. Okay, Mr. Selby Balance of Virginia Beach with a 2.5-pound speckled trout. He caught aboard the Lojo, captained by Joe McCarty. And Captain, when are those specs gonna?
They're starting to show up on down south, and we should have them here within the next week or so.
All right.
All right. Dennis Morgan of Pequosin with a 6-point buck taken on the last day of this past season in New Kent County.
Boy, he's got some relief on his face there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, last day of the season, he filled his tag. That's great.
Yeah, you saw the mountain bike story, of course, earlier. You just saw the Barracudas we brought out here. I'm sure you're just raring to go on the bike and ride. Well, we here at Virginia Outdoor Life, along with Conti's Bike and Fitness, are giving away 2 mountain bikes. These Barracuda A2Rs, and valued at over $1,200. We're also going to throw in some accessories from Conti's. We're going to draw one winner on our show May 25th, and each week leading up to the drawing, we'll introduce you to a mountain bike product. As folks, where's that helmet?
Where's our
Get
helmet?
the helmet out of here. Thank you, bud.
All right.
And
man, I almost missed my chance to be a model.
Oh, see, they don't make a helmet to fit my head, but we're going to let the captain model this.
I look so
good. You got to take this thing off
they
here,
closed it up.
It's an IQ test.
Yeah, right, and I just failed again.
See, right there.
Oh!
Right. See, it works. It really works.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, as you can see, this week's pass code word is a helmet. And seriously, it can save your life, as I found out when I endoed one time, big time.
That one's
what
happened to you?
Yeah.
We always wondered.
So, well, I was dropped, and all that sort of stuff. And we won't go into that, But anyway, that one's made by Specialized. Helmets very much available at all 3 Conti's locations, one in Norfolk, one at the beach, and one in Newport News. They can answer all your bike questions about helmets and everything else. So write down helmet, send it in to the address you saw earlier. We'll draw one winner who will win both bikes on the May 25th show. All right, hot product time is coming up. We've got something that can help every angler become a little more organized. But before we show you what it is, and thanks for coming back with us. It is hot product time. It's time to draw our lucky winner every week, and I'm going to just reach back in here. Captain, tell us what we got there,
All right, we got a really nice tackle box from the folks at Boat US, and they're located on Virginia Beach Boulevard in Norfolk. And it's many compartments inside, plus you have 2 nice big compartments on the top that you can put stuff in that you use a lot, so you don't have to keep opening the box.
Okay, quit talking now. Reach in the box here and grab a card, and I'll read it.
Got it.
Okay, and it's going to Kenny Rock out of Suffolk. All right, Kenny, you're going to get a fine tackle box there, bud. If you have any shots of any wildlife, of any of your boating, outdoor, canoeing, whitewater adventures, if you're out in the woods and you met up with a grizzly and you got it on tape, we want to see it right here.
Little bumpy tape as you ran away, yeah.
Exactly. So, and if any suggestions, maybe you have a criticism, I don't know,
What could be wrong?
whatever. But send it to us right here, folks. That's going to do it for this week. We look forward to seeing you once again next week on Virginia Outdoor Life.
Y'all take them easy.
Two cameras going.
I'm totally jealous that you guys get to do this. I don't get to ride my bike.
You don't jump off the cliff.
Yeah, okay, maybe you don't jump off the cliff.
Oh, man. You right?
Yeah.